Steve McQueen never tried to look cool. That was the whole point. While other leading men of his era reached for flash, the bold colors, the statement pieces, the obvious luxury, McQueen went the other direction. Simple, functional, understated, and somehow, without even trying, he became the most stylish man of his generation. They called him the king of cool. But what made McQueen's style so enduring wasn't the clothes themselves, it was how little he seemed to care about them. A Rollneck sweater, a Harrington jacket, khakis and desert boots, a white t-shirt that fit like it was made for him. Nothing revolutionary, nothing expensive, just the right pieces, worn with absolute confidence. Here's what most men get wrong when they try to emulate icons. They focus on the specifics instead of the principles. McQueen's style wasn't about copying his exact wardrobe, it was about understanding why those pieces worked and why they still work today. After 40, that lesson becomes even more relevant. You're not chasing trends anymore. You're building a wardrobe that reflects who you actually are. And McQueen's approach, functional, masculine, effortlessly refined, is the perfect blueprint. This video breaks down 10 elements of Steve McQueen's signature style and shows you how to bring them into your own wardrobe. Not as costume, not as nostalgia, as a foundation for dressing well for the rest of your life. Let's get into it. 1. Master the Rollneck. If there's one piece that defines McQueen's look, it's the Rollneck sweater. He wore them constantly, under blazers, under leather jackets, on their own with just a pair of chinos. Navy, cream, black. The Rollneck was his go-to layering piece, and it gave every outfit a sense of quiet sophistication that a crewneck or V-neck simply can't match. The genius of the Rollneck is how much it elevates without trying. It reads as more intentional than a t-shirt, more relaxed than a dress shirt, and more masculine than most men give it credit for. There's a reason it became the unofficial uniform of race car drivers, jazz musicians, and European intellectuals. It signals taste without announcing it. For men over 40, the Rollneck solves a practical problem too. It covers the neck cleanly, creates a strong vertical line, and frames your face in a way that's universally flattering. No collar to fuss with, no tie required, just clean, uninterrupted fabric from chest to chin. The key is fit and fabric. You want something fitted but not tight, close enough to layer under a jacket without bunching, relaxed enough to wear on its own. Merino wool is the move. Lightweight, temperature regulating, and refined enough for almost any context. The John Smedley Cherwell is the modern benchmark. English-made, extra-fine merino, with a kind of quality that McQueen himself would have appreciated. One piece, endless versatility. Speaking of versatile outerwear, there's one jacket McQueen made iconic. 2. The Harrington Jacket. The Barracuda G9 wasn't famous before Steve McQueen wore it. After he did in film after film, photograph after photograph, it became one of the most recognizable jackets in menswear history. The Harrington, a piece so thoroughly associated with McQueen that wearing one today still carries a hint of that effortless rebellion he embodied. What made the G9 work for McQueen was its versatility. It's not a statement piece, it's a workhorse. The ribbed collar and cuffs give it structure without stiffness. The Fraser tartan lining adds a subtle detail that only you know about. The length hits right at the hip, short enough to look intentional, long enough to actually function as a jacket. For men over 40, the Harrington fills a gap that most wardrobes desperately need, something between a blazer and a bomber. It's polished enough to wear over a button-down, casual enough to throw on with a t-shirt. It works with chinos, jeans, even tailored trousers if you're not overthinking it. The original Barracuda G9 in tan is still the definitive version. Made in the UK, exactly as it was when McQueen wore his. The cotton polyblend shrugs off light rain, the construction is bulletproof, and the silhouette hasn't aged a day since 1937. Some pieces become classics because they're timeless. The G9 became a classic because McQueen proved it was. Now let's talk about another jacket he made legendary. 3. Suede jackets done right. McQueen understood something about suede that most men miss. It's not delicate, it's rugged. His suede bloussons, those short, simple bomber-style jackets in sand and tobacco tones, became as central to his image as the Harrington. But where the G9 leaned British and refined, the suede jacket was pure American cool. Desert tones, soft texture, a jacket that looked like it had been worn on a motorcycle, a movie set, and a weekend in Palm Springs. The key to wearing suede well after 40 is choosing the right silhouette. You want something short, hitting at the natural waist or just below, with minimal details. No excessive zippers, no oversized collars, just clean lines and quality leather that develops character over time. Color matters too. McQueen gravitated toward earth tones: sand, tobacco, butterscotch, tan. These shades work with nearly everything in a mature wardrobe: navy, gray, cream, olive, denim. And they age beautifully as the suede develops natural patina. The Valstar Valstarino is the gold standard. Italian-made since 1935, it's the exact style of blouson McQueen favored. Button front, stand-up knit collar, just enough structure to hold its shape without feeling stiff. The suede is butter soft, the construction is impeccable, and it looks as good over a roll neck as it does over a white tee. Investment pieces like this aren't about trends. They're about owning something you'll reach for constantly, for decades. And speaking of pieces that last, let's talk footwear. 4. Desert boots and Chukkas. McQueen didn't do dress shoes when he didn't have to. Off-screen, his footwear rotation was remarkably simple. Desert boots, Chukkas, and the occasional loafer. Nothing fussy, nothing that required polishing, just comfortable masculine shoes that could handle dirt, pavement, and everything in between. The desert boot in particular became synonymous with his casual style. The crepe sole, the ankle height, the suede upper in sand or stone. It's a boot that looks equally at home with chinos, jeans, or military-inspired trousers, which is exactly how McQueen wore them. For men over 40, the Chukka solves a common footwear problem. Sneakers feel too casual, dress shoes feel too formal, and you need something in between. The desert boot hits that sweet spot perfectly. It's refined enough for a lunch meeting, comfortable enough for a full day on your feet, and versatile enough to work with almost anything in your closet. The trick is quality construction. Cheap Chukkas fall apart and lose their shape within months. A well-made pair with a proper sole and quality suede will last years and only look better with age. The Asterflex Bitflex in suede is the best value in the category. Italian-made by a 6th-generation family workshop with vegetable-tanned suede and natural rubber soles that feel broken in from day one. It's the kind of boot McQueen would have appreciated. No pretense, all substance. Now let's talk about the simplest piece in his wardrobe. 5. The perfect white tee. Nobody made a white t-shirt look better than Steve McQueen. In an era when undershirts were meant to stay undershirts, McQueen wore his like a statement piece, fitted through the chest and shoulders, slightly shorter in the body, clean, masculine, and completely unpretentious. It became as much his signature as any jacket or watch. The lesson here isn't complicated. Basics matter. A white t-shirt that fits properly, not baggy, not skin tight, just right, is the foundation of casual style. It works under a suede jacket, under a Harrington, under a sport coat. It works on its own with jeans. It's the one piece you'll wear more than anything else in your wardrobe. But basic doesn't mean cheap. The difference between a forgettable white tee and one that actually elevates your look comes down to fabric weight, construction, and fit. You want something substantial enough to not be see-through, soft enough to be comfortable, and cut in a way that flatters your build without looking like athletic wear. Sunspell has built their entire reputation on getting this right. Their t-shirt in white is made with a tubular construction that eliminates side seams and a mid-weight fabric that holds its shape wash after wash. It's the kind of t-shirt McQueen would recognize. No logos, no gimmicks, just quality. If you're finding value in this breakdown, take a second to subscribe. I release new videos every week on dressing well after 40. Practical advice, quality recommendations, no trend chasing. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Now let's talk about what McQueen wore below the waist. 6. Khakis and military trousers. McQueen's pants were never an afterthought, but they were never the focus either. He gravitated toward military-inspired trousers, khakis, chinos, fatigue pants in olive and tan, flat front, clean lines, nothing fancy, the kind of pants designed for function that happen to look effortlessly stylish when paired with his simple tops and quality jackets. This approach makes sense for men over 40. You don't need statement trousers, you need versatile, well-fitting pants in neutral colors that work with everything else in your wardrobe. Olive, khaki, navy, stone. These are the foundations. The colors McQueen reached for again and again because they simply work. The military influence matters too. There's a reason fatigue pants have endured for decades. They're built for comfort and durability, with a relaxed fit through the thigh and a rise that actually sits where it should. Unlike modern fashion chinos that prioritize slim silhouettes over practicality, military-inspired trousers respect your anatomy. The WOW pleated pant in light beige has a modern taper from the knee down that keeps things contemporary. They're comfortable enough to wear all day and sharp enough to pair with a blazer if the occasion calls for it. Functional, masculine, unpretentious. McQueen would approve. Now let's talk about the accessory that defined his image more than any other. 7. The Persol Factor? When Steve McQueen put on those Persol 714s in the Thomas Crown affair, he changed eyewear forever. The folding sunglasses with their distinctive keyhole bridge and blue-tinted lenses became so associated with McQueen that Persol eventually released a permanent edition bearing his name. 60 years later, they're still the most iconic sunglasses in men's style. Not because they're flashy, because they're perfect. What made the 714 work for McQueen was the same thing that made everything work for him: restraint. The frame shape is classic without being boring. The folding mechanism is clever without being gimmicky. The overall effect is sophisticated but completely unpretentious. You notice the man wearing them, not the sunglasses themselves. For men over 40, quality eyewear matters more than you might think. Your sunglasses sit on your face, the first thing people see. Cheap frames read as cheap, period. A well-made pair in a classic shape signals taste without saying a word. The Persol 714 SM. Steve McQueen edition is the real thing. Italian-made with the exact folding mechanism and acetate construction that McQueen wore. The Terra di Siena colorway, that warm tortoise tone, is particularly versatile. It works with everything from a suede jacket and jeans to a navy blazer and gray trousers. 10 extra manufacturing steps go into the folding system. That attention to detail is why these frames have outlasted every trend for 6 decades. Now let's talk about the watch that made history. 8. Watches like McQueen. In 1971, Steve McQueen wore a Tag Heuer Monaco in the film Le Mans and made the square-cased chronograph immortal. The Monaco wasn't supposed to be a style icon. It was designed as a racing watch, the first automatic chronograph with a square, water-resistant case. But McQueen's association with it transformed the watch from a technical achievement into a cultural touchstone. Today, the Blue Dial Monaco remains one of the most recognizable timepieces in the world. What made McQueen's watch choices work was consistency with his broader style, functional, masculine, and completely devoid of flash. He didn't wear watches to impress people. He wore watches that did their job and looked good doing it. The Monaco, the Submariner, the Speedmaster, all tools first, style pieces second. For men over 40, a quality watch is one of the few accessories that actually makes sense. It serves a function. It lasts decades with proper care. And unlike most men's jewelry, it's universally accepted in every context from boardrooms to beach bars. The Tag Heuer Monaco Caliber 11 in blue is the direct continuation of what McQueen wore. Left side crown, automatic movement, that iconic square case. It's not cheap, quality watches never are, but it's the kind of piece that holds its value and gets better with the stories attached. McQueen's Monaco has been on wrists at Le Mans for 50 years. That's the definition of timeless. Now let's talk about denim. 9. Denim done right. McQueen lived in jeans. Not pre-distressed, artificially faded designer denim, just honest, well-worn jeans that had earned their character through actual use. His approach to denim was the same as his approach to everything else. Quality basics, worn with confidence, allowed to develop patina naturally over time. The jeans McQueen favored were straight leg and medium rise. Nothing too slim, nothing too wide. They sat properly on his waist, broke cleanly at his boots or dessert shoes, and looked as appropriate with a suede jacket as they did with a simple white tee. Functional, masculine, effortless. For men over 40, the lesson is clear. Skip the trendy cuts and distressing. Invest in quality denim in a classic silhouette, wear them consistently, and let them become yours. The fades that develop from your wallet, your phone, your movements, those are the details that matter. Manufactured character always looks fake. The Orslow 107 Ivy fit is exactly what McQueen would reach for today. Japanese selvage denim made in Japan with obsessive attention to detail. The fit is relaxed through the thigh with a slight taper, comfortable without being sloppy. The fabric is raw, meaning it starts dark and clean and develops beautiful fades unique to how you wear them. One pair of quality jeans worn properly will outperform a closet full of mediocre alternatives. And that brings us to the final lesson McQueen left us. 10. Keep it understated. The secret to Steve McQueen's style wasn't any single piece. It was restraint. Look at almost any photograph of him off screen, and you'll see the same thing. 2 or 3 colors maximum. Simple silhouettes. Quality over quantity. Nothing competing for attention. Nothing trying too hard. The clothes served as a backdrop for the man wearing them, not the other way around. This is the lesson that matters most after 40. You don't need more clothes. You need better clothes worn with intention. A wardrobe built on quality basics. Rollnecks, Harringtons, well-made trousers, simple footwear will take you further than any collection of trendy pieces ever could. McQueen understood that true style is about subtraction, not addition. Every unnecessary detail you remove makes what remains more powerful. Every loud piece you skip lets your presence speak instead. The goal isn't to dress like Steve McQueen. It's to understand what made his approach work and apply those principles to your own life. The Rice Merino Rollneck in wicker brown melange is the perfect piece to close this out. Impossibly soft in a cream tone that McQueen himself wore constantly. It's the kind of piece that disappears into your wardrobe and elevates everything it touches. No logos, no drama, just quality. That's the McQueen way. And after 40, it's the only way that matters. Steve McQueen has been gone for over 4 decades, and we're still talking about how he dressed. That tells you everything you need to know. His style wasn't built on trends that faded or pieces that dated. It was built on principles that work as well today as they did in 1968. Functional simplicity, quality construction, masculine restraint, and the confidence to let the clothes support you rather than define you. The pieces we covered, the roll neck, the Harrington, the suede jacket, the desert boots, the perfect white tee, the military trousers, the iconic sunglasses, the purposeful watch, the honest denim, these aren't relics. They're foundations. Any man at any age can build a wardrobe around these elements and look sharp for the rest of his life. But more than the specific pieces, remember the approach. McQueen never overdressed. He never reached for flash. He wore simple things well and let his character do the rest. After 40, that's the only strategy that actually works. You're not trying to impress anyone anymore. You're trying to show up as the best version of yourself, consistently, confidently, without apology. McQueen figured that out at 30. Most men never figure it out at all. If this video helped you understand what made his style so enduring, check out the next video on the screen. I'll see you there.